I'm Ken Massey.
For these reasons, stray domestic animals can pose a danger.
The mascot of Team Fractured Visions. He's been running some more film nights, so I think it's like a monthly affair, although I think he's having a little holiday in June.
You can't take holidays, Phil. It's not permitted.
People were upset. I was at the Lighthouse screening, fantastic film, directed by Chris Crowe.
When did you first become aware of the Smalls Lighthouse incident, and what was it that drew you to that story?
Weirdly, when we were shooting our first film, Devil's Bridge, one of the other producers, who's a good mate of mine called Vern, we were looking for another film to do on a budget, and he said, "Have you heard of this incident?" I think in the back of my mind I had, but that really stuck with me. You know, kind of, it was just the sheer brutality of the experience, I think. And I just started playing in my mind. David was aware of it. And on the same film, Mike Gibson, who plays Thomas Howell, kind of brought it up and said, "That would make a great film." Originally, I was looking at doing this as my second film. So yeah, it's just sort of, kind of bubbling away in the back of my head for a good few years. And this was made through Film Company Wales, this cinematic scheme. So it was like a set budget. So you have the budget, you don't have to go and raise the money. It was only 300 grand, so we kind of thought it might be a good fit. It's a Welsh story, it's contained, so we thought we could just about do it for the money.
Yeah, because it's a tricky one, isn't it? Low budget filmmaking, especially with ambitious like this period. So instantly that's your budget's going to take a hit. It's going to cost you to do the production design. But with the production side of things, Dave, the cinematic scheme, how did you find working with that? What was the core of it? How did it work, basically?
Well, yeah, I think initially about 60 films were pitched by various production companies. We our first feature film, which was Devil's Bridge, Chris mentioned, we did for 30,000. So this was, a 10 times improvement on the budget for us. And there was lots of loopholes to jump through, lots of paperwork. It was hard work, and actually, it was good though in a way, because we learned a lot during the process. Because all the I's had to be dotted, all the T's crossed. We had top flight London lawyers working with us. They were doing it on a budget, so we had all the legal stuff in place. It was just a really good sort of learning experience, and also for us, the perfect opportunity to do a film that wouldn't be commercial in the sense of the stuff we were trying to do otherwise, and we could sort of tell our own sort of twisted little tale in the way we like, and not be too, because once we'd gone through all the process of actually developing the script, they were quite sort of hands-off.
Really? Because it's one location. I mean, how hard was it to actually find your location?
We almost shot it here before it was a tram shed. So we, my second film was set at private jet, so I kind of felt confident we could at least recreate the cabin, the interior. So we knew that was going to be 100% build. Then the beacon, that was the problem, so we're trying to kind of recreate a kind of storm, and this was the worst storm ever recorded in the Irish Sea, which is pretty stormy, So the cabin I was really confident with the production designer Tim Dickel. I just did loads of mood boards and found actually kind of the main inspiration for that came from, obviously, there are no photos, there are plans of the original lighthouse, which was actually a lot smaller than that, we made it bigger for the film. Was Scott's cabin in the Antarctic. I found some great photos, so I did loads of mood boards, and we worked on how it would look. So that I was kind of completely confident with, and Alex and I did loads of kind of work and talking about how we kind of shoot it, and these really nice old primes and kind of lens babies and kind of. So I wanted to get a kind of hint of that kind of daguerreotype, you see the old West photos, that kind of vignetted, kind of really obscure. I thought that would kind of really help with, kind of something that's kind of character driven. We shot the entire thing in a warehouse in Splot, apart from the fight scene was in a kind of a barn used for weddings. that we kind of, turned into a sort of spit and sawdust tavern. The chapel, obviously, that was a nightmare, kind of getting through the kind of church's layers to get a chapel. And then a couple of scenes on the beach. So the beacon and the storm is the hardest thing. So that's entirely VFX.
A warehouse and
Slot, yeah. And we had a
spot
Right next door to Spot Market.
Yes, right next to the Spot Market. Yeah.
So the sound must be loving you.
Yeah, and kind of typically you go and recce stuff. And it was silent. It was fantastic. I think on our first day, we had to just stop shooting because there was a gypsy funeral with police helicopters because it just descended into a brawl. Kind of like sirens, the lot, and then the next day, even though we were told the warehouse next to us was empty, we were told there's nobody in there. It's kind of guys with kangos kind of taking the render off the wall, which the landlords were fantastic, and they kind of stopped doing that. But we had sort of wind and rain machines in the warehouse and Splot. Massive green screen. It was the biggest green screen in Wales, I think, at Blackburn. Which actually Vern, the other producer on Devil's Bridge, is a fantastic technician and just got a brilliant mind for building this stuff, and he actually brought me in to do all that. Anyway, so he did the green screens. They meant every time we kind of use the rain machine, we had to have these like massive water vacuums and had to kind of vacuum up, 300 grand, that's going to be 3 foot of water in a warehouse and Splot, and we shot in the middle of winter, so it's freezing, absolutely freezing,
Alex, with yourself as a DOP dealing with one location, how challenging is that, trying to keep everything fresh and interesting?
I think it is a challenge. It was a challenge for us to keep it fresh and interesting, but also to be faithful to the arc of the story and to the environment that the lighthouse keepers are in. And we would try to use the space as much as possible by sometimes showing it in a larger space and sometimes using the beams to narrow the space that we could see, so that we were almost working in the full free frame sometimes, so that everything felt that much tighter. And as Chris already said, we did build a cabin a tiny bit bigger than it would have originally been. But even then, I think the claustrophobia was quite difficult to work in. I mean, if I was standing up at normal height, my head would be touching the top beam.
The acting side of things, the hardest thing I think for actors to put off is drunk. Playing drunk is the hardest thing.
The funny thing is about doing something like this is, for most of the shoot we were just crying laughing, you just have so much fun, it's so silly because the sort of darker material, we just sort of had fun with it. But the thing is about Mike and Mark, and I love working with both of them, they're just tremendous character actors. So, a lot of my job as a director, you can kind of trust them. When we talked a lot about it, and particularly the Alan scene, which is kind of the heart of the film, where you understand why he hates God and why he hates Harold, with his Bible. Kind of Mark and I sort of talked a lot about that and where that kind of came from, when I wrote it, and where what we could kind of bring to it. But drunk acting, I was kind of, really nervous about that. It can be boring, but I think they get it quite right.
Absolutely nailed it, especially Mark.
And it's sort of, it's kind of at the bottom of the, kind of bottle as well. It's a dark drug, it's not consumed drug. It's kind of white text and like black and white. They're just great actors.
Initially, the backers were quite concerned about the they raised time to get us all. What they're going to do, they're just going to be falling.
£30,000 for your first film, now you've got 300,000. Obviously, the big difference. I mean, with Devil's Bridge, you had more actors, more locations, but less money. So how did you find it? Dealing with one location, less actors, more money.
Yeah, well, we had less money, but we had no clue, so we just did stuff. Basically, so health and safety. Whilst we had our insurance and stuff, but we were sort of like a bit flighty at times and did a few things that maybe you'd be frowned upon, but that's what you got to do when you're doing that thing.
It's complete guerrilla, because you've got like 4 public funding bodies.
The thing was as well, because it was all bodies involved. We had to do everything. So we had to have expensive lawyers, we had to have certain backers that were getting premiums and stuff that we didn't do first time round, you know, so everything was a lot more expensive. We had to pay for things we didn't sort of consider first time round, and it was, you know, the money soon flew out, but we had about, it was a 5% contingency, didn't we, on that fee, and we'd sort of beaten into that within about a week of shooting, you know, so it really kind of, we set our prices on stuff at the start of production and we had to stick to it, and sometimes we found that what we'd initially budgeted would work, but we had to make it work. So it was tricky, and in some ways it was a lot harder having more money because there was a lot more responsibility with it. So there were a lot more people to employ. I think 10 people was working on Devil's Bridge. It was 40 odd on this one, at some point up to 50, 60.
Yeah. The VFX, I know that's your specialty, but this is quite intensive, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how did you find doing all the...
Oh, it's a lot. Because I wasn't meant to do them, you know, at all. But we got guys in. We had a really good little kind of team, but you know, kind of it was just things started going wrong as they do with VFX, and in the end, like just to. So kind of, we had Alan, the 3D kind of model maker, you know, I got Matt in, so I had Alan making the kind of 3D models and feeding the engineer, and Matty kind of, I just got him sort of keen in the track in, which is, you know, kind of, you know, not much fun, you know, kind of, but you know, kind of done it. But in the end, things kind of, you know, got so bad, I think I did. It's about a month, wasn't it? I just sort of just ditched kind of everything and did about 400 shots in a month. So, and this is the first time I've seen it where I've actually not just winced at the VFX, you know, in my head, you know. Especially with the brand, you can see a lot of problems, you know. The good thing about that is if something looks bad, you just throw over it because it's like, you know, it's a problem solved.